She's not yours, it's just your turn. Okay, when you're dating an attractive woman, especially one who is above an 8 in looks, an 8, 9, or 10, one thing you guys have to understand is that chick is community property, right? She doesn't actually belong to you. She belongs to the community, and just because she is with you right now doesn't mean that she is going to stay with you. It just means that at this particular time in that woman's life, it's just your turn, okay? It's just your turn. So understand that. And this also applies to women who are even below an 8 looks, okay? And that's something that not a whole lot of dating coaches have touched upon, whereas like girls who are even the least bit cute, she could be a 6, maybe even a 7, right? A lot of guys, they'll go home with a 7. Even here in Vegas, man, a lot of guys they're gonna take what they can get. Right? I was out last night at Excess, and there were girls there that were even as low as a 5. And guess what? You know, they were 5s. They were kind of short, kind of pudgy, like like not that cute, just a tiny bit, and they were getting hit up. Guys were trying to take these girls home, right? It was the end of the night, right? All the hotties had left, but guys, thirsty beta males, were still trying to hit these girls up. And the sad thing is, out here in Vegas, because I come out here a few times per year to do game, to do work, sometimes I take students out. The thing you gotta understand, the thing about Vegas is a lot of the girls who come out here will come out with their girlfriends, right? They'll take a girl trip out here to Vegas, and a lot of these women have men at home. They have men waiting for them at home. Do you think that stops them from hooking up with other guys while they're out here? No. Because women will backwards rationalize anything, especially being out in Vegas. They will backwards rationalize that shit and be like, hey, well, you know, I'm in Vegas. You know what they say, girl. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Or they'll say some shit like, hey, Vegas is a completely different zip code. Doesn't count. Or, oh, it's a completely different area code. It doesn't count. Or, oh, that was just the weekend. That doesn't count. Right? In her head, it doesn't count. It's like when you ask a woman, how many men have you slept with? She'll tell you the number of boyfriends she's had. She won't tell you about all those random guys that she had sex with on the fly, that she had sex with while she was out in Vegas for the weekend. She won't tell you about those guys. She will only talk about her boyfriends. Okay, and I was just out with my wing last night. Man, you don't want to know, especially these blue pill guys, they don't want to know the truth, right? They just don't want to know the truth. This is why whenever I post an infield of myself like doing a makeout, or a girl like trying to like take me home, what do these blue pill beta males automatically say? Actress! She's gotta be an actress! That can't be happening! Right? They can't be happening! Because I'm not getting laid. That's not happening. Sad. It's sad that guys are sucking that bad. Right? They're sucking so bad at life that they think it's that hard to get a girl to make out with them on the fly. They think it's that hard to approach a girl and get her to laugh, smile, grab your ass. It's pathetic that guys think it's that hard. It's like guys on my Instagram sometimes, right? When they try to call me out, they're like, oh, why are you sitting with this Lambo and blah, blah, you know. They're like, you can't afford that Lambo. And it's like, dude, are you kidding me? You know, I've always been transparent about what I make, by the way. I do anywhere between 50 to 60,000 per month plus, right? And I posted plenty of proof on my Instagram, by the way, so I don't want to hear that shit. You know, it's the same type of guy who think that getting a Lamborghini is that difficult. It's not. And if you think it's that hard to get, you know, a Lamborghini these days, you're pathetic. You're really sucking at life. Just like the guys who think approaching a girl is like impossible. It's impossible. Man, you guys are pathetic if you think it's that hard, because it's not. You know, it's actually pretty easy. All right, going by the Mirage. But Just understand, man, when you're dating a girl and she's the least bit cute, doesn't even have to be like a super hot girl. She could just be the least bit cute. That girl doesn't belong to you, right? It's just your turn, and you need to understand that. So it always blows me away, like when guys start like mate guarding and stuff, right? And they start acting like, you know, that girl is his property and shit. And those are guys who lack game, right? And the guys who do mate guarding, by the way, those girls always end up leaving that dude, right? If you're in that position where you're afraid of losing your girl, you don't want other guys looking at her, approaching her, you're like that freaked out about it, you're that jealous, you're that possessive, you're already in the one down. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a theory that I talk about on my channel called the one up and the one down when it comes to relationships, right? And the person who is in the one down is always the person who gets dumped. They're the person who has the least amount of power in that relationship. The person in the one up is the person with the most amount of power, and that is usually the person who ends up doing the dumping. Okay, there's also an analogy I call the builder and the star. Same thing, one up, one down. Okay, the person who's in the one up is obviously the star of the relationship, and the person who is in the one down is the builder of the relationship, where they basically do all the work, right? And you never want to be in the one down. You never want to be in the one down. And the reason why I know is because I've been there before I started really like honing my game, my relationship game, because I've always been good at pickup. Believe it or not, I mean, it's like I was able to get these young, beautiful girls into my life, right? Even back when I started, back in the 90s. But I was still lacking, you know, that key component called relationship game, okay? I was still lacking that. And because of that, I was doing a lot of mate guarding, right? And I can remember like one or two girlfriends, even as far as like the early 2000s, even the mid 2000s, where I was just jealous, right? I would get jealous if dudes checked them out. And a lot of guys would check these girls out because obviously they were hot, right? But I was finally able to get them, and I screwed it up because I was like paranoid of losing them. And guess what? It became a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I did end up losing that girl because I did so much mate guarding, and mate guarding is so low value, right? You can't be doing that shit. It's super, super low value when you mate guard. You know? And the reason why you mate guard is because you don't understand that that girl is not actually yours. Okay? She's community property. It's just your turn. Now, does this mean that, you know, it's probably going to end anyway and you should probably like give up and all this stuff? No, of course not. Because you can hang on to that girl, right? I mean, because every single one of the girls that I'm dating right now, right? As I've mentioned to you guys, I have a 5-girl dating rotation. It was 6 up until recently. I had to get rid of one because she was starting to get on my nerves. But I have a 5-girl dating rotation right now. And each one of those girls is way hotter and younger than the girls that I dated in the early 2000s that I was so jealous and paranoid about losing, that I was so in love with. The girls that I'm dating now are way hotter, way younger, they get way more attention, yet because I'm in abundance now, where I no longer do that mate guarding shit, and I realize, hey, you know, they're hot, they're community property, if they want to move along, they can. Right? I don't hold a gun to these girls' heads. I always tell them, like, hey, the door's open. If you want to leave, you're free to leave. You know, because a lot of them want to, like, kind of like tie me down and do the relationship thing. And I don't want to do that. And in the same sense, I want to be fair. And I don't want to be like, oh, you know, oh, I don't want a relationship from you, but you don't date anyone else. No, I don't do that shit. I'm fair. I'm like, hey, if you meet a cool guy, he's high value, go for it. I tell them that all the time. And it's weird because I leave the door wide open and I'm in abundance. I mean, I don't worry about losing them. They don't leave, right? Because I don't do any mate guarding, they don't leave. Right? Because guys who do mate guarding, the reason why they do that is because they're in scarcity. They, you know, they have one-itis for the most part. They're afraid to lose this girl because they think they're not going to be able to replace her. That's why you do that mate guarding shit, and that's why you think like, oh, she's mine, she belongs to me, right? She can never be with another man. That's not the way the game works. And as you know, women, beautiful women, even unattractive women, they're just hypergamous by nature. right? They're just hypergamous by nature. So they're gonna constantly be out there looking for the BBD, the bigger, better deal, right? Because unfortunately, most guys out there are still blue pill. They're still beta for the most part, I hate to say it. So they don't have... What's that? No, I'm shooting for my YouTube channel.
Oh, I thought you was... Oh!
Yeah.
What you got going on?
Shooting some coaching videos.
Where you from?
San Francisco.
You're doing videos?
Yeah.
Am I on there?
Yeah, you're on there right now.
What's happening? He's in Vegas,
Yep.
and this is what we do.
33
People
secrets.
ski off the roofs of the hotel rooms in snowshoes with their snow boots. You know?
Yep, they don't believe that.
Yeah, they do a lot of coke out here, bro. And guess what? It is what it is.
Man. But yeah, a lot of guys, they don't have the skill to hang on to these girls because they're still lacking that relationship game, right? So this doesn't mean, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, because I don't want you to like be paranoid, like, oh, you know, I could never hang on a girl, they're all like cheating whores, you know, then you go black pill. Like all girls are like cheating, stupid bitches, they're gonna cheat on me, you know, why even try? It's not true, right? And you know what, if you talked to me 10 years ago, I might have even agreed with that, because I was still at that point where I was like, man, I'm a great pickup artist and I can't hang on to these girls. It wasn't until I really sat back and kind of just examined my own mistakes and my own sticking points and really like fix that I realized, like, yeah, you can actually hang on to these girls, and when they believe that they're with the best that they can get, you know what? They're not going to be going out there clubbing. They're not going to be coming out here to Vegas for a weekend trip with their girlfriends, you know, looking for a high value male to hook up with. It's insane, right? It's insane. I wish sometimes I could take some of these blue pill guys out and just show them the other dimension that has been hidden from them their entire lives and what women are capable of doing. And I'm not trying to demonize women, because a lot of guys think that, like, that's what my channel is about. Like, oh, you've been bagging on women so much lately. And it's like, no, that's not what it's about. I just feel like, as, you know, one of the very few pickup artists that has been in the game as long as I have, since the 90s, and that is still out there and still doing it and still teaching, I owe it to my students to be honest about the realities of pickup and game and the women that you meet out there. I have to be honest with you, you know, and I can't like sugarcoat it, right? I can't. I'm being as honest as I can. And I'm telling you the reality about these girls, like how they could be if you're not, you know, if you're not holding your frame in the relationship. Okay, but I don't want to get too far off track. Just understand at the end of the day that, you know what, for most guys, and I'm not saying all, by the way, I'm just saying for most guys, for the level of relationship game that you currently have, which is most guys, the girl you're with is community property, right? She's community property. Now, if you get to a level, right, where you hone your relationship game and you're able to make the women that you're with feel that you are the absolute best that she can get, to the point where she's not going to be running off to the clubs every Friday, Saturday night. She's not going to be running off to Vegas on the weekend with her girlfriends and leaving you behind at home, to the point where she's not going to be going out to happy hour, right? And she's coming home to you instead. If you get to that point in your game, then you know what? You won't have to worry, right? You just won't have to worry. But for most guys, you have to worry, right? You still have to worry, right? Because you haven't done the work yet, right? You have to put in the work. You have to go through that heartache, man. And believe me, I've gone through that heartache. You know, I lost some girls in the early 2000s that I really liked, I really cared about, that I loved, you know, because I didn't have that relationship game yet, and I was doing a lot. I was just getting jealous and possessive, and I was mate guarding, and that shit's a huge turnoff, right? It's a huge turnoff. If you want to hang on to your girl, you got to be in abundance, okay? You can't be in scarcity. You can't have one-itis for her. You know, one thing in the pickup community we used to teach is when you would meet a girl that you really like, what we would teach guys to do is to go out there and get other. So in the pickup community, when you would meet a girl that would have you smitten, that you felt yourself getting like one-itis for, where you were just like feeling like you were so into this girl and like, wow, oh my God, we just connect on such an amazing level. And we share so many commonalities together. And oh, I think she's the one. And you start talking like that. What we would tell you to do in the pickup community is to immediately, if you want to hang on that girl, to immediately go out there and meet 10 more girls. It doesn't mean you have to go out there and like screw all 10 of those girls or start dating them or start cheating on this new girl. No, we're not saying that at all. It just means to go out there and reestablish your abundance. Okay, so you don't sink into that scarcity, because when you sink in that scarcity and you're with a girl that you know, and you finally met a girl that you really, really like, I mean, she could smell that scarcity like shit on a shoe. And it's a massive turnoff, guys. Huge, huge turnoff. So you gotta be in abundance whenever you meet a girl that you really, really like. I'm not just talking about I'm not just talking about like a cute girl or, you know, some like semi-attractive girl that, you know, you wanna have sex with. I'm talking about a girl you really connect with, you know, and they don't come along every day, they come along every once in a while. But when you meet that girl, and it still happens to me too, as soon as I meet a girl like that, I'm like, oh my God, oh, there's something about this girl, man, there's something about this girl, you know. And then you start saying shit like, start telling your friends like, hey, I actually kind of like this girl. There's something about her, I actually kind of like her. And you start talking like that, drop what you're doing, get out there and start approaching. Go meet 10 other. Okay, again, doesn't mean you got to date these 10 girls, doesn't mean you got to go fall in love, but it just means you need to reestablish your abundance so you don't pedestalize this new girl. You feel me? And she doesn't become community property, right? And you're able to hang on to her where it's not just your turn anymore. And you're not like all these other beta chumps out there dating a hot girl where really it's just your turn. It's just your turn. And then before you know it, you're mate guarding, you've sunk into scarcity, you've got one-itis, and now your girl's running off to Vegas on the weekends because she knows she's with a chump, and now she has to come out here looking for a higher value male, looking for that alpha male to replace you. I don't want that to happen to you, all right? So until next time, I'm gonna wrap up here. This is M from the 33 Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Also hit that notification bell right next to it so that you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's very important you guys subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a ton when you guys do that. Okay, also share my coaching videos. That also helps a lot as well. But make sure you subscribe. That way, whenever I upload a brand new coaching video to YouTube, you'll be the first to find out about it. You'll be the first to be notified about it, and you won't have to kind of dig around and look for it. Instead, you'll be notified just as I upload it, right? So make sure you subscribe to my channel. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill content I've been uploading lately even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking 8s, 9s, and 10s. Same exact type of women that myself and my students are out there approaching and closing every single week. And I kid you not, every single week, right? So right now the first month is only $1, right? It's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. Who can't afford $1? Okay, so take advantage of it. Take the risk, take the gamble as we sit out here in Vegas, right? This is a city built on gambling. Take the $1 gamble, get into 7 Months to Mastery. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. Look at this, guys. The Venetian. Nice shot, huh? It's really, really early in the morning, too. Okay, it's like super early in the morning. And I was out all night with my wing, and believe it or not, I'm still awake. I have all this energy. It's crazy when I talk to guys half my age and they're like halfway dead, right? They barely have any energy. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? Wake up, you know? Wake up. Life is short. Take advantage of it while you still can. Until next time.